Tell us about your effort to censure or to kick Rashida Tlaib off of committees.
Well, I introduced the censure resolution last week, Charlie, and it will be brought to the floor for a vote this Wednesday at around approximately 6:30 p.m. But here's why it's so important for me to talk to you today. We need some more courage in Congress, and some of my Republican colleagues feel like they may not have the stomach to censure anti-Israel, anti-America, pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist Rashida Tlaib. They feel like they don't want to watch her in the well wearing her Palestinian scarf around her, crying as she is censured by Congress. But in fact, that is absolutely what we must do. We cannot tolerate a hate America, hate Israel member of Congress. They should never exist. No one should be elected to serve in our United States Congress that speaks the vile things that Rashida Tlaib says, that supports terrorism and supports the groups and is aligned with the groups that she is aligned with. So the censure resolution must pass, and I need your listeners, I need your viewers to call all my Republican colleagues and tell them to vote to censure Rashida Tlaib.
So just remind our audience specifically, what has she said that is worthy of a censure?
Well, what she did is she gave a speech on the day that she launched an insurrection. She gave a speech lying, saying that it was Israel's fault. Israel bombed a hospital in Gaza, when in fact our own news agencies, our own intelligence were reporting that it was Hamas themselves that bombed the hospital. So she lied. She aligned herself with these groups, radical groups, Jewish Voices for Peace. They are not for peace. That sounds like a lovely name. But the ADL, in fact, calls them an anti-Semitic, anti-Israel hate group. And if you are labeled that way by the ADL, then we know that you are a serious extreme leftist communist organization and, in fact, a real hate group. This group, Jewish Voices for Peace, is aligned with terrorists. They support terrorists and fund terrorism. Another group that was involved in the insurrection on the Capitol complex, where almost 1,000 people marched in the streets there and hundreds went into the Cannon building, taking over our building. Another group was called Global Intifada. Intifada means Arab uprising, Arab rebellion, or jihad. And this is the group that Rashida Tlaib was with when she gave the speech that same day, right before the group marched on the Capitol complex and came into our building, taking over, refusing to leave. And so this is extremely radical. This is terrifying, Charlie. I want to remind you, this happened on the same day Hezbollah declared a day of immense anger. They wanted a worldwide day of immense anger. They were calling for terrorism. They were calling for protests, calling for violence all over the world on a day of immense anger. And Rashida Tlaib organized with that group, and they did protest, and they did an insurrection into our Capitol complex, stopping Congress and stopping the Senate. So this is just a fraction. She's also has an extreme record of anti-Semitic language, but speaking out against Israel. She supports BDS. Rashida Tlaib is a radical, and she does not support or stand for anything that we stand for here in America.